What name would you name a podcast for me telling all my new kids secrets? All I came up with was NKOTB and me, like Marley and me. Yeah. So either this is episode 1 of NKOTB
and it should be you with 5 puppies.
Yeah.
5 golden retrievers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the first question is, what were you thinking before I had any information or knowledge? And I got a relayed message saying, Joe wants to incorporate the dancers in Please Don't Go Girl. And I was like, is it roller skating? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what's funny is a couple of things. And I will digress. So you're going to have to get the scissors out. Since we got back together in 2008 and our relationship and collaboration, started, Please Don't Go Girl was always something that was like important to me to just have a journey, like even behind the scenes, you know what I mean? And get my hands dirty and have something to live up to. And like, how do I top it? How do I make it different? And as the tours have gone on in the years, they have been more and more diverse. And so we've basically, had different kinds of conversations about Please Don't Go Girl along the way.
Yeah.
And sometimes they were small and sometimes they were easy and I want to take it down. And you've always been so gracious and loving and held the whole operation as always with all of us. To jump to Vegas, I was in a car. I think I was doing some solo dates or something. And I had to pull over because I had to get on the phone with you and Travis. Mm-hmm. And Travis is the other creative director who, put the Vegas show together and one of our other tours. We were all on the phone. We were like spitballing and whiteboarding on the phone. I left the phone call not sure what we came up with. There was an energy. There was an energy.
I remember that really well. That phone call was insane because I was like, I'm just going to hold my tongue until maybe they'll solve it. Like maybe I'm not needed for anything. And the only idea I had in my pocket was the picture frame. I did it once as a dancer, and all I remember was whenever we were in humid countries on tour and we were holding our pose, like these bugs would come and hit our face, and we'd be like, while we're posing.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't as evolved. There wasn't a storyline or a movement. We were just in the back while Mariah was singing.
Yeah.
And then later down the road, Beyonce did one, Dangerously in Love, and it was so beautiful and it was moving. And I was like, oh, this world continues on. Everything kind of maybe has been done in some way, but you do it your own way. And I had nothing to bring to this phone call, but I also wasn't scared, except Travis was like, we got a scrim and we can do this and we haven't done that. And I was like, wow.
He kind of comes,
those are amazing.
100 miles an hour, that energy sometimes. Yeah. But in that call it was,
And I was like, okay, here goes nothing. And I was like, what about picture frame? And obviously you were already seeing that. So you were like,
But
because I didn't even
maybe I love the idea
well.
so much. I thought I came up with it or something like that.
I think you did come up with it, and I just met you there because I had already got this line that said Joe wants to incorporate dancers. So if that had been relayed to me, you must have already envisioned this somehow. Yeah. And then magically, sometimes you just happen to catch someone on the right wavelength. Yeah. And that's what happened in the call. And I was so whew, that worked. And then it helps for context. Like I made a little visual inspiration with Sunday in the Park, with the dancer, with some other cool things that felt right in this way. Yeah.
Once we started saying like this picture, right, for all the theater kids out there, the first thing that came to me was the Sondheim musical Sunday in the Park with George, right? So that's where I saw the frame of this picture. And I think I remember on the spot, it was like you were really kind of like that artist. You were really like the painter. It was almost like only you saw the finished product.
I remember you guys were taking a break. While they're gone, I'm gonna put the dancers in place, and I had to figure out how to stage it without the band being available. So I thought I was a genius by putting mic stands and even the color of the coded mic stands. Yeah. And then you came back early and we're like, Kevin, come here.
Oh my God.
why are there mic stands there? And I came over like a little puppy dog, like Joe's gonna call me genius because I am blocking the band without bothering them because everyone's busy. Someone's doing something. Someone's recording. Someone's this. Whatever it is.
Just placeholders. Damn
it was just placeholders, and you were like, I don't.
You mean I jumped the gun?
Yeah,
come on, me.
I was like, oh my God, and on top of that, like, I was just trying to make the pictures without doing your part.
Yeah.
I just want to see from picture A to picture B. That's what the script kind of was, that these pictures will work.
Right.
And then Donnie was like, I like the mic stands. And I was like, shh, don't.
Right.
Those are people.
Now I remember that.
Yeah.
Now I remember that,
And then for me, it felt like the first time in the history of New Kids where I had to put my foot down, where you were like, can I see, or are you open to feedback? And I remember saying, no, you're supposed to be on break for another 15 minutes. You guys aren't supposed to be here. Those microphones are not lines. Those are the band because everyone's scattered. I haven't even jumped in as you. And I was like, Kevin, shut up. Your tone is getting weird. Stop talking to them like that.
Well, what I remember most, which makes sense, is that in the way normally it's all good and like Donnie was just trying to collaborate and help out, but what got me is like no, I'm trying to give Kevin space. I have ideas too, so don't interject your ideas just yet because we're that kind of thing. But I do remember that.
I remember feeling like okay, well. You bought yourself 10 more minutes, but they're still there.
Yeah.
And then I went and I'm a fan of freestyling and being uninhibited and free when I'm by myself or in a safe space. That area is not a safe space, nor by myself.
No, you were wide open. And everybody was in the room.
When we turned the music on and I was like, okay, I'm just going to trust that these pictures work and I'm going to be Joe. And you were watching me. And I had no idea what I was doing or anything. But if I wasn't free and if I wasn't present and if I wasn't fully committed, it wouldn't work. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I look like. I don't know anything. And then I turned and you were like, that's it. And great. And I was like, oh my God, it worked. And you're like, try it again. And then this. And I was like, what did I do? And they're like, we'll help you. We'll talk to you. Right. And then so everyone's kind of like whispering to me and I'm still trying to be present and free because if I'm authentically feeling it's honest and true for you to receive it.
Right.
But if I'm like putting on a show, you're going to feel it's not authentic. Right. So even just like folding in the chair and like these weird like inverted positions. And I just remember feeling like I was being pushed in a way that I really appreciated, and I haven't been pushed in a long time.
Yeah.
Where I'm always trying to look at from the outside, even if I'm choreographing on the inside. Yeah. But now you're forced in the inside. Be you while you're watching it. I don't have a plan.
Yeah.
I'm just being free as if, and it just worked out that you liked it, and I went home that day, or to the hotel, just elated, it worked, and it's going to be amazing, and oh my God. But I was shitting my pants that day in rehearsal, and Sonny was standing in for somebody, and we had to move the mic stands they were the band from picture to picture. Right. Meanwhile, we don't know what's going on, and then there's crew people just walking past in the way and all these things. But that rehearsal was something I'll never forget.
Oh, that's sweet. I felt that. Of course, it didn't look that way because you're a pro and you make everything look easy. Kevin usually every move the last 20 years, you know what I mean? It's like if we could just do it like Kevin, it would be. He makes everything look easy, but it takes a lot of work to make things look easy. But I will say that maybe not with you, but sometimes I want to figure it out myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Lots of times, and I'm sure that makes sense. But I do remember that.
Yeah,
is going. Oh, I'll do that. Some performers are like, show me what to do.
Yeah,
I don't need to figure it out. I think it's partly I like the figuring it out, that process. Mm-hmm. Part of it is probably a little ownership and a little ego that I want to figure it out, that kind of thing. But I didn't need to make for so many reasons, because you're amazing and you're such a good friend now and I trust you, and like what an example. It's not like you're doing stuff that, doesn't look great. But I do remember that now that you said that. I was like, that's it. And I wasn't sure, you know what I mean? And I'm still not sure, which is okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm still playing with things within this. I don't have a lot to do up there. But I do remember you sitting down first in the chair and, giving me these, ideas to play with.
One of the big inspirations was the Black Mirror episode with Issa Rae.
Right. You told me to watch that. I watched that.
When one person's isolated, not necessarily everyone has to be frozen, but you can feel that isolation. Or if you're out at a big place, sometimes you feel more lonely, or, like New York City or anything in that world. And it reads so well because I think you jumped in fast enough where you were in control over how things flowed. And because you're so open artistically, I was able to enhance, because we only have 2 female performers. So I was like, can I get feathers to one of the boys to be more feminine? Can I give a cane? I wanted to feel still like the dancer where the ballet teacher has a cane. And even though you already said, I don't want the lines of the microphone stand, I was like, okay, this cane's a risk, but I see it. And then I was like, maybe 2 canes. It was so cool that you were open to enhancing this world, because all their outfits were coming from, the Rat Pack nightclub.
Well, that was sort of felt, it's all perfect, but like that felt for me like a happy accident, which doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, what do you mean? Well, that was the set, and Please Don't Go Girl is kind of finishing that act. Mm-hmm. But we're slowly setting up the environment, or we're slowly asking for the permission, right? Yeah. We're saying, after all that, I think you might be ready, because all of that beautiful, gorgeous, yes, it has a more of a hip hop, you know what I mean? What takes it? We take it from like hip hop and like in the club and jazz and like modern and cool and a little bit of, fire. And then, the ballads come in, and now we're still in that world, but it's just a little bit more fantastic.
Yeah, it felt like it went to black and white. It felt like a dream, or it felt like a haze at the end of a night when you're out partying.
Yeah, everyone 3 a.m, getting out of the club.
And you're like, that was the night of my life. That's true. And you have these memories, but that's kind of what it felt like seeing it. And then it was your idea to make everything asymmetrical, to have it all on diagonals. Yeah. So I don't know if the audience notices that, but it kind of shifts from this diagonal to center to that diagonal, and it always makes you a pop out without being center. And in the world of New Kids, whoever is singing is either going to be center or out on the side and forward. Right. But for you to be like bleeding down through this picture and over in the bottom really separated you from the party, and it made it feel so beautiful and vulnerable and lonely at that in that way. Yeah. No, and the audience going, I have that sound on video from that first night. Yeah. And every night that I even have chills now, but the first few nights I was there, you can hear the gasps, audible gasps in the audience of like,
that's what we live for.
And this like
that very first opening night, the first show, the first it comes up, that was it, man. That was what you live for. It was, it was like, now we've heard screams, right? Yeah. We've heard screams for 40 years. This is definitely the last 15, 16, 17 years. But to, evoke a different sound of wonder and surprise was very, very satisfying.
Yeah, it made me so happy.
Very satisfying.
I would just sit and watch like from different angles and watch it all. And it could go wrong. It could be too randomly theater. Right. At the end of a section, you want to do a finale of fireworks. Yeah. And this is like a blurred dream while you're going home of how good it felt. Yeah. And we've never done anything like that. And it was just such a magical culmination of things to that opening night. It's a fine line of like commercial product, art, and repertoire and nostalgia, and you have to walk these lines with the group.
Yeah, right.
And being artsy isn't, something that excites everyone in general.
Right.
Where you're like walking 4 miles to get here and taking in all the air and smells and things, but it's also a skill to, drive fast.
Right.
So this teetering of artistic integrity was risky because there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
You always do that.
It can feel avant-garde in the pop sense, which is like a big word, but like even if you're thinking that, and it's kind of, it's exciting, right? Because we want to challenge ourselves and we want to push the envelope while respecting all the things you were talking about. I saw you having that experience. Like that really connects for me. Like you saying, I didn't want to go into this, or I don't like going into it with too much prep. And with this, it made sense that I'm seeing this more because there's so many moving parts. You don't just have 5 now. You have, 11 moving parts, a huge stage. And then at the same time, it was a new experience because I knew I couldn't, even if I wanted to and script it out, like, I knew you had the idea and you got it. So I didn't come with a lot of ideas with this one because I didn't know how to drive the bus. I couldn't, there was too many moving parts. And then another thing that's coming up is vulnerability. That's so important. You know what I mean? Like vulnerability is so important. Like you're practicing vulnerability by going, I don't know yet. You know what I mean? Like in real time.
Yeah.
And like, I'm being vulnerable because I'm asking the group again to like maybe step out of their comfort zone. And by the way, I do that, sometimes in my mind, we tell ourselves like, they're not going to like this. Oh God, they're going to go, oh, Joe, here's artsy fartsy guy, know? And they've always stepped up because I've always asked them to do a little bit more or step out a little bit more, or in my mind, for Please Don't Go Girl. And they've always played along.
Yeah.
In 2002, like I said, can I climb up on you guys? Like, like Les Miserables, like,
I remember I tried to suck you out of that.
Yeah, that was, and it worked. It was weird, but it worked. You know what I mean? But this was a much bigger deal. And they showed up and they said, where do you want me? And they enjoyed it. You know what I mean? And like, and I didn't even, there's so much going on. Like recently, I didn't know how much of a moment like Danny had in the beginning. Because I'm just focusing on mine. And all I know is that Danny's going from here to over there. But what's so cool is like, and frankly, in 2002, I asked him to like not have a moment. And, a little BTS, like, he wasn't super comfortable with that. He's like, well, where do you want me? And I'm like, nowhere just yet. You know what I mean? So I think it's a really nice full circle moment. You know what I mean? To have him, kick off the song like he has for 40 something years. You know what I mean? It's his voice that like really sets the story. So there's a lot of lovely moments, and Jordan loves the part when he's up there and he's sort of like so anyways, not to, fan out on our thing, but it's so a lot good. There.
I think what you were saying, like the vulnerability part, when we're creating a show, you can either say, I have a vision and here's what I want, and you are moving that direction and you're getting the best out of it, and maybe there's little tweaks along the way, or there's another approach where you're like, what do we have left to use? What could happen? Where is it? And there's a lot of risk and magic in that being vulnerable and waiting, because like if you go to a fitting, you can go first and get the best look, or you can be last, which could give you the last of it, or it could be save the best for last.
Right.
And I'm not used to.
It's a great analogy. The old fitting. With 5 guys. Yeah. I think also what's nice is that like you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You get Danny in a spotlight saying this iconic intro while taking in everybody else's, and it doesn't detract. I'm a real stickler for pulling focus. Kevin knows this. Like the lightest thing. The guys know it. This really kind of puts the kibosh on that because there's so much going on, but you get to take it in and feel it and absorb it, and then see us like you haven't seen us. So it's like Jordan. You'd think, well, Jordan's singing his part, and he's really
the furthest one upstage.
He's very much upstage, but you're seeing him in this. It's sort of like that. You know what I mean? You like your whole body is sort of like reaching out for it, and everybody's there, and it's just like very, really cool. It's like a great lesson, of how you can pull focus and how you can sort of like. In so many different ways. And it was really fun to, especially in our capacity, right? Because it's always usually like we're shot out of a cannon. You know this. You think, how many triangles and staggers and 2, 3, and 1 and 5 and whatever, you know what I mean? And we do that well, and it's exciting to do that and mix it up. And that's such a big part of, the math of what we do. But like this was really cool.
Like when you see those the people walking the Met Gala with the stairs and their gown drapes all the way down, that's like Jordan essentially when he's singing. And it was so nice to be like, okay, a little drip this way, but it has the river has to go that way and flow down, and then it goes over there. And the stage has grading that's kind of uncomfortable to be on, and then steps and angles, which made it really fun.
It's a lot of moving parts, especially for the guys. Of course, you have professional dancers, so they're used to it and they're up for the challenge. But you have 4 guys walking up and down and freezing, and there's not a ton of it's a lot of moving parts. So it's
it's a hard, very tricky thing, especially the first time we were creating it, to incorporate the female dancers in essentially what would be like a love story. But they're more of a memory, and it's always a fine line to walk because you don't want to, like just make it so cliche and then you dance with the girl and then she's sad or whatever it is. So for her to like not see you or you not see her, or Dane to follow Natalie, all of it just felt so cool, and everyone still has focus.
There's equity. There's equity in there. I'll use that word, that big word, but there is. And everybody's having their own experience too. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like as well. Which is a fun thing to do, especially like, okay, this is a moment. Again, that vulnerability and the generosity like throughout. You know what I mean? And like, even the idea that, oh yeah, that's not about me. Like, this is my moment. And it's, what do you mean it's not about me? And it's like, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's about everybody. It's about the picture. It's about the whole picture.
Now everyone's like, maybe I could do this. And what about? And I'm like, okay. Now they're into the world
and trusting it too. The more, because it sounds like they're trusting it more. And I guess that's why it's good to look at some of the film. You know what I mean? Because sometimes like don't look or just let it be. But like, oh, I can trust that more. Even vocally too. I mean, that's the age old conundrum. You go, oh, I didn't have to push there. It actually sounds better when I do it lighter, that kind of thing. So the same way vocally, it's like, physically and sitting in it. Like, oh, they're going to get that I'm, working it out here. It's like, yeah, they are, they are. I could see that,
Did you feel that on the first night, or were you like, here we go, whether they get it or not?
I mean, that's why that first reaction, before I really even I did anything, you know what I mean? I kick it off and do my time, but then that first moment when the picture comes up is before, it's right when I turn up to walk up the stairs. So that's why it was fun to like, I got to experience that because my back's to the audience. So it was just like, it was cool to just really like soak up that first reaction.
It doesn't start like a typical number where it just opens and everything's laid out for you and you go, oh. And it would have been really easy to open this world and you're center, or it would have been really easy to just have only a light on you. And then
the lighting's great. I mean, Travis and the team, they did a great job. I guess again to that is like, again, normally in this pop world, it's like spotlight here, boom, bang, bing, bang, boom. But this is really like, it breathes a lot, you know, and therefore, again, that vulnerability to like trust that everybody's doing their job, you know what I mean? And we don't have to. Lighting was a big part of me realizing I didn't have to do much, you know.
When you perform it now, are you just fully free? And
I mean, I'm still working it out. You know, it's like I'm not Fred Astaire, but I can make believe as best I can as I'm Fred Astaire, and like this movement, like. At first, doing the 808, like do cat, do cat, and like slowly but surely, and I'll even do it more. And I got to check in, like I don't have to do that much. But less is more. I thought like I was moving around, and I thought I had to like swing my arms around and maybe do that, and that's okay, like to find it, and it might work. But like I realized like it can be. Almost pedestrian, like what I was doing. Yeah. You know, because, I'm going on the 808, and that first hit, you know, pushes me into the whole, you know, thing. But then walking over, it's almost like it's pedestrian. You know, it's got to be cool and it's got to feel right, but not doing too much, you know.
For like the audience, they don't really get to know that the way you think is the 808 makes you contract because it's pulling you into this world. They don't know that, but they feel that because that's what your intention is giving all the time. They don't know Natalie and Danny had a backstory, but he's following her, and they're like, well, she's leaving. Yeah. And they're understanding these little details that we put a lot of work into that we normally don't get to dissect songs in that way, especially a song that has so much life already in it. Yeah. Maybe like one of a newer song, we can take risks with what it is or the vibe or something. Yeah. So with this one, it was real. That's why I wrote out a whole script, which I'll try and find and, you know, add on to the clips here. But just having it like a movie was so fun in that way.
It makes me think of like also like, you know, like you said, this world, or it's the come down a little bit, but it's the exciting, painful, what's next, all the things. And like, we're all having those experiences because we're like a group of friends up there. And like, so it's like, well, wait a minute. Okay, Danny, and Natalie have this thing, but like any group of friends, like we feel that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not our relationship, but we're getting affected by that. Yeah. And like, why did she do that? Yeah. Or when you I would have done it differently. You know, all that thing. And maybe Natalie's not the one I'm going after, but like it's the love and that interest and like, how am I gonna get fulfilled? And like all those things, like it's the world, you know, it's the world, you know, that we're all being affected by, you know.
Now that there's only 2 legs, is this the end of it? Is that what it is? Is this?
Yeah, I think it might. I think it just might be. You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. That being said, I look forward to like us looking at each other and saying, "Can we take this on the road? Yeah, you know, can we do this in an arena without the massive Las Vegas proscenium that we have, this frame outside the frame, you know what I mean? But it's I like that we're contemplating not letting it go.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's good to let it go, and you can't ever top anything. You have to just stay true to where you're at the time. So you're always going to be an artist who's always going to want to take risks. Yeah. However you can, especially in the shows with songs that you've been performing forever.
Yeah, it's sweet. I'm glad we sat down, and I'm glad it means a lot to you, and it means a lot to me too.
It's so magical. Everybody feels it. it's such a risk for the show with all the lasers and color and excitement in Vegas to do something so minimal.
Yeah.
And there's just something about the effortlessness of every element in this piece that makes every eye go like,
yeah.
And it's so beautiful. And I wish the whole world could see it.
Yeah. Now I want to see it, but I'm stuck up there now. So now I'm just going to have to just, go on.
Put Griffin
go on Instagram.
for a
yeah,
run.
I know. Get Griffin there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
buddy.
I'm so grateful. And
they're going to want to hear more about, there's lots of other stuff in the show and over the years. So
there's so much.
If I'm the first new kid to be in this seat, then I'm honored. But
yeah,
I say, they're going to be looking for the other guys too.